Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Enigmius, and this is my coverage of World of Tanks. We're doing a little mini-series here, possibly to extend into a longer series of highlight videos, just kind of showing off the game. Now, in the last episode we looked at the basic tanks. There's like light, medium, and heavy tanks, and tank destroyers that pretty much all play the same. Then we get the self-propelled guns, also known as artillery or arty in the game, even though it's not technically artillery in the most commonly seen sense of the word. Normally when you're looking at artillery like howitzers and things of that nature, quite often they're spotted into place, and then if you want to move them, you have to hook up another vehicle to them and drag them around. They don't move very easily. But the self-propelled guns, as you can see by this example directly in front of you, it looks almost like a tank, except it doesn't have a top. It's a convertible tank, basically, and it's got a really, really big gun on it. And the reason why we're looking at this separately from the tanks in the last episode is because this one has a very different play style, including the way that you aim at targets and do damage and kind of move around and stuff. So we're going to take a look at that, but very, very quickly, before we do that, I just want to look at how easy it is to get into a self-propelled gun, if that's what you want to do. This is the research tree for this specific SPG. You can see I've got radio and engine that I could continue to research if I wanted, but I'm basically probably going to move up into a birch gun, which is the next tier. If we go all the way back here, when you first create a new account, one of the tanks that's given to you is the British Vickers Medium Mark I. And after you spend a little bit of time in this tank, you can unlock, like every other tank, new turrets, new radios, new engines, new tracks, new guns, and then eventually you can unlock new tanks. One of the tiers of tank that you can unlock fairly quickly and easily is your first SPG, and then you can carry on up the SPG line as far as you want. So it's not like this is an advanced kind of tank that you have to slave your entire life away just to get into. You can get into one pretty quickly and easily. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hop into this guy. We're going to talk a little bit of the tactics as we go along and show you basically how it works. Another 4-second queue. I always shut up during the queue in case I have to edit it out. It makes it easier if I'm not talking. And then that happens. Now this is possibly one of the worst examples of a map for artillery. Look at all the buildings in the way of everything. Now, I would have thought, before I started playing an SPG, that it kind of fires in a high arc, so that we would theoretically be able to go over all of these buildings and stuff. Not so much. Not so much. But we're going to get into that. We're going to show you kind of how that works. As soon as I find a safe spot to park, we're going to kind of head west a little bit. I find that I use the mini-map a lot more with the self-propelled gun, just because of the way you view the world when you're in firing mode. We're going to head over this way. Now, the key to remember is that it takes, for most self-propelled guns, a very, very long time to reload after you fire. In this case, 14.25 seconds. You fire once, and you have to wait 14.25 seconds before you can fire again. So this is not the kind of tank that you get into head-to-head encounters with. This is, again, artillery, basically, where the goal is to make every shot count, because if you do make every shot count, you can throw down some very serious hurt on the bad guys. Additionally, we're not very well armored, so we're not wanting to put ourselves in a position where we're going to be soaking a lot of hits. Now, because of the many, many obstacles in this map, it's not always easy to find a spot to get set up, but we're going to go for this spot right here. And then we stop, and then we hit shift. And now we're in firing mode. Now, unlike the previous tanks, this is like a top-down kind of view of what's going on. And you can see several things right here now. You can see, first of all, there's a green line from the middle of the screen heading off in the direction of my tank. And that shows basically where I can hit. When the line turns red, that means that there's an obstacle between where I am and where the center of the cursor is. You can see it's got that tank highlighted there, but I can't hit him because he's hiding behind some walls. You'll also notice, see those... this guy. is a dick. Now, like I said, the SPG is not suited to head-to-head engagements, but that's not to say that it can't cause problems for a tank that's stupid enough to drive up into it. This guy, where everyone has low.
This vehicle is heading.
So there's a tank destroyer. That's sort of the bane of my existence. Now, players who kind of have an idea of what's going on will tend to use light tanks if they have them to come around to the flanks to the back end and scout out the enemy artillery so that tank destroyers and other artillery can take them out. So that's a smart way to play a light tank or even a fast medium tank. If you're on a team, on the other hand, where your light tanks go kind of a third of the way up the field and then hide in a tree waiting to snipe someone and no one ever goes past the halfway mark, your job as the artillery just becomes ridiculously difficult because you never get any targets scouted that you can shoot at. But it happens. It's a part of the process. There's still a chance that we can finish this match with a win. We didn't actually get to do any artillery bombardments. So we won. We won by capturing the enemy base, which I'll take the win. I'm okay with that. You can see here, these are the two tanks that we had any kind of meaningful interaction with. One, we spotted it, apparently. Out of everyone on our team, we were the first ones to see it. We shot him once, damaged 2 modules, did 210 total damage, and blasted the shit out of him. That was the light tank that basically rammed us and thought he was going to do some sort of sneakiness by continuing to ram us. This was another tank that we spotted, and we were the first ones to see it, and he kind of shot us and distracted us, and then the tank destroyer that someone else had seen previously blew us up. So that's kind of the danger of playing artillery, is that you are very much reliant on your team to look out for you in many ways. You're reliant on them to run counter scouts so that you will have tank destroyers near the artillery that are watching out for enemy light and medium tanks and blowing them up as soon as possible before your artillery gets spotted. And also scouts, light tanks that are scooting up the field, finding high priority targets like artillery, heavy tanks, whatever, that you can then rain down hell upon, hopefully. It's a part of the thing with the online game. Sometimes we have to rely on people more than we might like, but in this case, we still won. We did all right. And we've got our tanks set to automatically repair and automatically replenish ammunition. So we're going to load up for another battle, and hopefully this time we get one that's a little more open. Fewer buildings blocking our path to death and destruction. So another example of a map that is not artillery friendly. We're starting off in the southeast corner of the map. The enemy's starting off in the northeast corner, and then the base, if we were to capture a base, is off in the west central area of the map. Lots of buildings in the way, but there are also some open areas that are a little bit more accessible from where we are, because we're basically starting out on the top of a hill. You can see we can go up that way, but not very far. Actually, no, that's the wrong way. That's to the courtyard up above. We've got a heavy tank and a tank destroyer heading up in that direction, so I'm going to take my chances that these guys are going to watch my back. If they do, we might be able to cause some pain. If they don't, then we'll be quick to go after they do. So this is actually now 3 tank destroyers and a heavy plodding our way up the hill. Sometimes it's funny when you're in a really, really slow tank and you try and go up a hill like this, because it's just you're almost waiting to hear gears strip and other things shear themselves to pieces. Now you'll notice We've got some bad guys over here that are taking some fire from our pals. There's really not a lot that we can do by way of sneaking in and trying to get some shots off, because we have to more or less have our tank pointed in the direction that they're facing, or that they are, in order to fire on them. And if we can't do that, then we can't really do much at all. And in the process of getting that lined up, quite often what happens is we get lit up and blown up because they see the square, and it's an easy kill that could save them a fair bit of grief down the line. So now we're going to move along this way and hopefully take on a position that lets us hide from the enemy artillery, while at the same time raining down nastiness upon the enemy. Look at the heavy tanks. Let's see if we can get a bead on these. See, that guy he's hiding behind some buildings. If he comes out the other side, we might be able to get a shot off, and he's out of viewing range of whoever had spotted him. We're in very good shape, though. We've destroyed 5 of their tanks. We haven't lost one yet. These guys are hiding inside that building, which means this guy is not even a viable target. Now, this is sort of the decision-making process with this tank. Do we kind of sit and wait on these tanks, hoping that they'll emerge? So that was my that was my shot. Now, see the red dots that are kind of converging on the dot in the middle? That's giving me an indication of where my projectile might land. The longer you wait, the smaller it gets until it reaches its minimum sort of size like it is now. And basically what it's telling you is that you're still lining up your turret to fire on the spot that you have indicated, and there's still a margin for error in terms of where your shot is going to land. So there's a patience element. You can see as soon as we move, those dots kind of fly apart. And these guys are also not in range, but we'll be able to watch our friends blow them up. See, we've got a pair of tank destroyers moving in. Oh, we've got a heavy in the capture area, and we're gonna take our chances. Yeah, we weren't even close. So now we wait. We can see, first of all, we're reloading. That's why those dots that are forming that ring that's coming together are red. As soon as we're properly loaded,
Critical hit.
there we go. See, that's artillery. That's artillery in a nutshell. So I was a little bit concerned with the artillery because, again, first of all, my first idea was that it would be the high arching sort of, there's nowhere it can't land a hit kind of thing. But as soon as that was proven to be not accurate,
Knocked out.
there we go, we got another one. I realized that this is just as strategic as anything else. Now, a mediocre artillery guy like me kind of has to wait for the enemy to sit still in order to land our shots. If a person wants to push their skill set, they can look at trying to hit targets that are on the move, which is quite a bit more difficult. You can see if this guy would come out of this building, we might be able to land a shot. You know what? I'm gonna take a chance. This is probably just gonna bounce off the building. Yeah, it didn't help our cause at all. But there's definitely some strategy, there's definitely some thought behind the whole entire process. And one of the things that you'll notice I'm not doing that I should be is relocating. Just like a sniper, you take a shot, maybe 2, you should be looking to move somewhere else, because otherwise the enemy is going to kind of pin down where you are. And because we are the glassiest of glass cannons, things are going to go downhill from there. So now we've lost 1 medium tank, that's all we lost. We had that 1 heavy that was in here, left to destroy. He's destroyed, and we win. So what do we get for that? We get 200 experience and almost 5,000 credits. And for our research, oops, I have to close the victory screen. So we're kind of maybe almost halfway to the next tier for the SPGs, which is, I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it because I always like moving up to the next tier. Realistically, I could do well to upgrade my radio so that I can receive information from people at a longer range. The maximum power radio has a range of 550 meters compared to my current range of 400. So it's fairly substantial increase. But what I've noticed is a lot of times, but when you research a tank, you kind of get a little bit of research for free and along with it by way of different things that you would have paid for previously, and then it comes with the tank when you upgrade it. So I'm okay with leaving those for the time being. We're going to focus on moving up to the next guy. And see, we've already got the better gun that we'll be able to get into this guy, because this is one thing that we did invest in. But that's the thing. Let's do one more match and try and get one that's a little bit more open. This one's not bad. This is kind of reminiscent of the Italian villa. All of the beautiful architecture that's been around for hundreds of years, and we're going to introduce it all to high explosives, because that's what we do. That's what war is good for. But the one thing you'll see is that despite the presence of still a number of houses and structures, it's not nearly so congested as the previous two maps, which hopefully will mean a little bit more action, or we're just going to get blown up really, really fast. So I'm one of two artillery on our side, and the enemy's side only has one. So that's kind of a thing. See, here comes a scout. That double beep you heard, and then the red light. There's a scout on his way up with a tank destroyer. That's the way they should be playing, is little fast tanks hauling ass to spot high priority targets before they have a chance to become a problem. So this guy, tank destroyer, yes, we can hit him, provided he doesn't move too... Yeah, see, he's hiding. Just before... Oh, there we go. We're going to light a fire. Oh, we missed. We were hoping... We had all the bits and bobs squared away, lined up, ready to go. We've got a light tank heading up. Could be a problem in terms of spotting our location.
Critical hit.
So, do our part to reduce the likelihood that he's going to be able to do that. Our scouts aren't very effective, which is to say they're not doing anything at all. One of the things that I read as a tip, and you guys can feel free to borrow this, and you don't even have to give me credit, is don't drive over trees. Because, as you just saw, we didn't see a tank, but we saw a tree fall over. And that's an indication that there's an enemy tank there.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Yeah, that was me. Haha. See, I couldn't see him, but I knew where he was when he disappeared, and I got him just in time, and that was enough to blow him up. So that's one less scout, possibly. We know there's a tank destroyer around here, but we just got the beep, and we're going to take our chances with this medium. Look at this guy. Medium tank playing like a sniper. He just got what he deserved. For all the times I've been blown up in my artillery because I've got no scouts or counter scouts. Oh, that could have well been a friendly fire, was it? Yeah, that was probably a friendly fire. Ah, angry kids and the things that they do. So the enemy team, they have 3 light tanks, 2 tank destroyers, and 1 artillery left. This guy is... Oh, we missed. So this is what I was talking about. You can wait for everyone to sit still, or you can go for the attack on the move, which is much more difficult with artillery. That didn't do anything for us. He kind of got away. See, there he goes. He just drove over the tree. Right after he disappeared, even if we hadn't seen him drive in that direction, we could have seen that tree fall and know that there was a tank in that general direction. Got a tank destroyer here. That he's hiding behind the rock directly to the north. You can see my little line there kind of goes red just a little bit, which means we're just wasting ammunition trying to hit him like that. But oh, we missed. We fell a little short. If he stays there, we'll get... Oh, he's dead. I was going to say, if he stays there, we'll get another clear shot at him. Now, at this point, they've got a tank destroyer, 1 artillery, and 2 light tanks. We've got 3 tank destroyers, 1 artillery, and 5 light tanks remaining. If they're smart, just for the sake of the time involved, they're going to push for a cap. Because one thing that they're not going to have really much success with is winning by killing all of our tanks. It's just numerically not very likely. Oh, we got the beep. The call to action, and this guy is... yeah, we can't hit him. But fortunately, our guys are on the ball. See, we've got some counter artillery up here that are holding off, trying to play sniper. Not always the most helpful, especially when you're kind of waiting for a team to finish dying. But this guy, if he kind of stays where he is, and we get a reload before he gets in behind the wall, we should be able to mess him up a little bit, maybe. I'm going to try. Go like that. No, that didn't hit. But we could keep trying, and, I mean, we've got nothing else to do, so... Oh, that could be him there. Hiding, running, his track is... Oh, that wasn't us that killed him. Ours landed right here. Someone wrecked one of his tracks, and he wasn't able to move, which is very handy for artillery, because it forces a stationary target, but we weren't able to capitalize. Oh, we got artillery here. We're going to take our shot. Yeah, there were 2 artillery shooting at him. No, we weren't. There was an artillery and a tank destroyer. And that's it. Match over. All enemy tanks destroyed. It's another victory, almost 200 experience, 5,000 currency. When you're looking at an upgrade tank that costs 5,500 experience and you're getting 200 per match, it's not really that bad. It's not that bad, especially moving up from a tier 3 to a tier 4. So that's been our look at self-propelled guns, aka artillery. I like it as kind of a little bit of a variety in between losses on my other tanks, because sometimes that's what happens, is you lose a lot on your other tanks and you just need something different to break the monotony. So that's what we've got. We've got the artillery. Next episode, we're going to take a look at a little bit more in-depth stuff. We're going to be using the M3 Lee to illustrate some concepts that kind of focus a little bit more on the depth side of things and the strategies and things that you can learn along the way that go beyond the super casual approach, moving more towards the high strategy kind of thing. Not that I do it well, but with a tank like this, you have to do some of it or you just can't have any fun. So if you want to be notified when I add that video, easiest way to do that is subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Enigmius1, or you can follow me on Google plus Enigmius1. And if you want to give the game a try and support my channel at the same time, you can click on the link in the information box below the video to sign up for your free account, download the client, play the game for free, enjoy the hell out of it like I do. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.